today's session is going to be on business planning. So let me destroy a few myths out there. This is a 30-minute introduction to business planning. The end result of today is not going to be a business plan. That's a pretty involved process, one in which I strongly encourage each one of you to take advantage of the resources and tools that we have available within our brokerage. If you're logging in from a different brokerage, I'd love to introduce you to some of the things that we can do within the Century 21 brokerage to be able to help you to business plan, okay? And that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna talk big picture concepts today, and just introduce you to the tools and resources that's just some of the tools and resources that are available. But the main goal, the main objective is for you to have a plan. And the analogy that that we should all be thinking about is, geez, you hear it many places, but amongst other more popular places, you hear from our infamous Mike, who says people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. Okay, and that is a universal truism that I have found. So the goal today is not to, again, have a business plan, but to have an idea of how to get one and some of the resources that are available for that. Okay, any questions before we get rolling? Program announcement. Today's foundations is going to be the last one, basically, for the holiday season. So everything will resume again the week of the 3rd. To be honest with you, everything else was canceled as of today, but we had already put out the word, and I had already told y'all that we were doing this today. And so we had already put that word out before Mike made the announcement about this week and next week's training activities. So we're going to go ahead and keep on schedule, and we'll knock this out today. But I wanted to let you know that even though we don't have any formal training or any formal huddles or anything activities, my calendar coaching calendar remains pretty consistent for this week and next week. I'm out here for a few days next week, and of course New Year's Day and Christmas Eve we are all off. So please take advantage of that. If you want to talk more about your business plan, if you want to actually sit down and work on it together and review drafts, then I am here for you for that purpose. Okay. If you're joining us from a different brokerage, I'll be happy if you want to shoot me a quick email to my email, jayw@c21connectrealty.com. I will be happy to work with you and send you give you an idea of what we might be able to do in terms of helping you with the business plan if you were to be a part of our brokerage. Okay. If not, I'm sure your brokerage has those resources too. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get rolling. Okay. Let me figure out which screen I want to share. Okay, are y'all looking at slide presentation? Business planning?
Yes.
I want to make sure I shared the right screen. Okay, so the first, I just saw this, and you know me, guys. I'm like a dog seeing daisies along the side of the road. My car's making a horrible noise. You might want to remove that Mariah Carey Christmas CD. This coming from somebody who sits next to the Christmas speaker in the office every day. Okay, that's enough humor for today. So business planning, I saw this and I absolutely loved it. And this is as universal of a truism as people that don't fail to plan, they plan to fail. You read a book from beginning to end. You run a business the exact opposite way. You start with the end, and then you do everything you must to reach to that end. this is the guiding principle, the overarching magic solution to business planning. And that is by an American author, Jasmine West. Okay, so I just thought that was just absolutely fabulous, and it is true to this day. Okay, there's some overarching guiding principles, essential components of any real estate business plan. This is from the National Association of Real Estate. I saw this, and I also felt that it was appropriate. The first thing is mission statements are, in my opinion, overrated. Everybody's got one. Everybody thinks that they know what they're doing, but the reality of it is a mission statement, a clearly defined mission statement, does help you focus your business and focus your energies in the right direction. Must clearly define your purpose and the benefits you provide. Okay. Another good aspect of an essential real estate plan is your SWOT analysis. And if you're not familiar with this, get familiar. It's universal in just about every business. SWOT is an acronym that stands for your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It is an assessment of you as an agent and the landscape where you practice. So you're acknowledging what your strengths are, your weaknesses are. The hardest ones, in my opinion, are the opportunities and the threats. The opportunities are, where could you use your strengths to the maximum benefit and minimize your weaknesses. And the threats are the things that, what's your competition doing that you're not doing? Those are the hardest things, in my opinion, to quantify. So you would get down to your very specific goals, separating your goals from the short term to the long term to ensure that your short term goals support the long term. The next aspect, essential component, would be your strategic plan, determining what specific strategies you will use. And the word specific is very, very highlighted in that sentence. You will use to achieve your goals. Your business plan should evolve as your business and your abilities grow. There should be timeframes associated with the steps that you are doing and the actions that you are taking. And you hear it from us, preached from the pulpit every day, and then within your coaching sessions, you have to have an identification of your target audience. Much of the coaching that I do, that Mike does, that Rob does within our brokerage, all gears itself towards your target audience. If you don't know who your target audience, one of the first things that we're going to be doing with you is helping you to figure out who your target audience is. Because without that, you are shooting arrows into the dark, and we don't know where they're going to land. Okay. So it is critical to have a specific focus and a specific target audience, and not just one, but you may have several. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in some of the tools that we're going to look at, identify multiple target audiences, because you may be focusing your business in multiple different areas at different times. And then we're going to talk a little bit about systems and processes, having specific systems to achieve your goals. For example, using a CRM system to keep track of your clients and their needs. Okay, and that's something else that you hear preached often. Okay, so in addition to the elements from GAR, I had just kind of brainstormed these tenets of a good business plan. You want to look at your past performance to gauge your future performance. Okay, and if you're brand new, you may not have past performance. That's okay. If you've just been doing this for a few months or a few years, we do have a way to be able to pull reports from within either Brokerment, or you can work with your coach. You can pull these reports yourself, or we can go within, or your coach can work with you also. I apologize, I actually put SWOT in there twice because that was another area that I wanted to highlight. a good business plan has an evaluation of what your needs are. These are not only these are primarily your financial needs, and we're going to look at several tools that will help you to determine what your financial needs are. And then establish goals that will then facilitate meeting whatever those needs happen to be. Some of this touches in areas that you may be uncomfortable talking about, like what is your income goal? What are your monthly expenses? What's your rent? What's your mortgage? What's your your bills and expenses for utilities and debts and things like that. So that is all about evaluating what your needs are and then establishing the goals that are going to meet those needs. The end result of your business plan should be determining the actionable items that you are needed for you to be doing and in what frequency that you should be doing them in order to meet whatever your strategic goals are. Okay? That is the end result, and it is often the hardest thing to get to. But you've got to go through steps 1 through 6 to get to step 7. All right. Before we go any further, does anybody have any input, any ahas, any questions you want to talk about, or anything specific? That doesn't sound like there is anything. Okay, so again, this is a big picture overview. I wanted to talk to you. The next thing that we're going to talk about is some of the resources that are available to you. This is a 30-minute course. So again, this is not a exact how-to or steps, but I wanted to let you know that there is a very good and valuable course on C21 University that is specifically for business planning. This is the course. There's actually 2 different ones. There's one that's virtual, and there is one that is a video recording. So you can actually do a live in-person taught by a human being Zoom course, but it is a 90-minute class. It's recommended for agents with at least 6 months of experience, and you can register for this, and you can get to this through C21 University directly from your productivity hub within 21 Online. Okay. Does anybody need any help navigating to that? Does everybody know how to get to that? Okay. I'm going to say yes because nobody's asking specific questions, and we're going to go dig into these a little bit if we have enough time and show you some more specifics about them. Also within the Productivity Hub, this one, there is actually a sales associate business planning tool. This is actually a pretty cool little tool. And I didn't know it existed until I went looking for it. This is a good one that helps you determine the metrics in terms of numbers. Okay. And I'm gonna get out of this screen and hang on, let me stop sharing, and I'm gonna go into a different screen here in just a second. Bear with me so I can get into the right screen. Somebody say something while I'm navigating.
Hello?
Who said that? Jasmine, was that you?
Yeah, that was me.
All right.
Should we sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
You can. That would be great.
It's going on right now on the speaker. Oh, they changed it.
Oh, yeah, now we're
Rocking around the Christmas tree.
yeah. Okay, let me share again. Okay, everybody looking at the sales associate business planning tool disclaimer?
Yes.
Okay, so this is one, if you, basically, let me show you where you navigate to it. It is actually under your productivity hub within the Century 21 online, and it is called Sales Associate Business Planning Tool. It looks just like this one. When you log on, you're going to see this disclaimer, and you can accept this. This is one that doesn't really get into this is a very simple step. It doesn't go into actionable items, but it's a good way to determine what your numbers look like and where your income is going to come from and how it's going to be distributed throughout the year. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick notional. We're doing this in the month of December of 2021. How many days do you plan to work on during this period? It says 220 is a normal work year. I don't know who defines normal. Maybe if you were a part-time agent. I'm going to say you're probably working 3,000 days in the year. What is your desired income for the forecasted period? I don't know. Let's just shoot for 100 grand. Okay. What's the average home price in the area that you service? Metro Atlanta, you're probably looking at about 300 grand. What's your office average commission percentage per side? Unless you're working in a discounted area or something along those lines, you should be at 3%. What is your average sales associate commission split? Enter whatever your commission split might happen to be. Just for the sake of argument, I'm going to just say 70% is probably a good planning number. What percentage of the open sides do you close? So in other words, how many do you put under contract? Of the ones that you put under contract, how many do you actually close? National example is probably 90%. I don't know. I tend to, once I put something under contract, I tend to close it at a much higher level. So just me personally, I'm going to put probably 95%. What percentage of your total sides closed are buyers? So this would be where your distribution of buyers versus listings would come into play. And so I don't know, buyers, I'd say 70 is probably actually a pretty good example, according to the national example. What percentage of your listings go to contract? So in other words, if you list a home, you know, in this seller's market, I'm guessing that there's not many expireds, or not guessing, I know that there's not many expireds or withdrawals. So I'm going to say this is a much higher, you know, 98% is probably in this market on average. On average, how many contracts do you need to meet the results in one closing? Average, how many contacts do you need in order to meet the results? I read contracts. National example, 90. I don't know. Let's use that and kind of tweak this. Okay, continue to step 2. And this is where you would consider seasonality into play. Okay. This is where in January, not a whole lot of business is done in the month of January. And then you're going to go through here and fill this out. February, obviously you're trying to you know, basically distribute these out based off of your maybe your sales history that you've done in the past. So April is when the market starts picking up. You might do 10% of your business in the month of April, 10% in May, maybe 15 per, I'm gonna say 10% in in June. Probably 20% of your business is happening in the month of July. 10 in August. Are we coming 10? Maybe 5, 5, 5 for a total of 100%. That gives you a distribution of your goals based off of seasonality. This makes sense to everybody? Okay, and then it pulls your results in terms of your production goals, your listing goals, your sides, and your contacts per month. So this is where you would go into here and you would look at, okay, so if your desired income is 100 grand, you're gonna work 300 days of the year, your daily contacts, you should probably be making and adding 5 new contacts to your database every single day. So your yearly, if you did it every single day, that'd be 1,500 new contacts being added to your CRM. Total number of sides that you would open would be 11. Total number of listings taken would be 5. Units opened 16. Closings, you'd be looking at 15 closings in a year. You know, in a market where the national average of closings is somewhere between 3 and 4, 15, that's a pretty good year. You know, that's what, 3 to 4 times the national average. That is respectable. And then like this actually breaks it down into the value of a day, $330 a day of your hourly rate. If you were to be charging it, would be $42 per hour. So think about that. That's actually a kind of a cool little tool to think about the clients that may be wasting your time. Would you consider charging them $42 an hour for every hour that they wasted your time? Your time is valuable and you are worth something, and you should utilize that to the maximum extent possible. Okay. All of these, you could close these. You can actually download a full report, and that full report has all of these in here. Listings by month. This tells you what kind of, basically you should consistently be getting 1 listing per month throughout the year in order to make your goal. Contacts by month. This tells you how many contacts that you should be making during the various months. Okay. This is nice. I like this, but you know, everybody knows that in order to do a certain amount of production, there's a lag between the time that you contact and prospect people to the time that you're actually going to reap the benefits and earn a commission from them. So if you're going to have your highest production month in the month of July, you should probably be doing the majority of your prospecting in the month of April. So that's my one caveat to this particular tool. Okay. So that's the sales associate planning tool. I'm going to open up a couple other little tools. If you do the class, the C21 University class, they will produce, and you can actually download this without actually even taking the class, but there's a nice tool in here that will help you walk you through the process of a business plan. And it's a fillable PDF that you can determine things like what your mission statement is, building your business, building your life, and what your distribution, these are other tools that can help you get focused and go through the process of business planning. And this would be something, like I said, this is a 42-page document that is well beyond the scope of our ability to cover in this forum, because this is just an introduction, but I wanted you guys to see what tools are out there to help you do this. And if you want to do this in a coaching session with me, I'm happy to set that up for you. This is another tool, opening this now. that would also be the product of the class. And this is a much more extensive tool to be able to determine what your business expenses are. This is, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Your personal expenses, your goals as a solo agent, so that you can figure out, you know, this year I want to achieve in my life, this year I want to earn a certain amount to get to, you know, in this case, it was 127,000 average sales price. You plug all this information in, and it helps you to determine what your monthly, the breakdown of your monthly goals and your weekly goals, and the actionable items that you should be doing to achieve all of these. Gives you the monthly breakdown and your hourly commitment to each one of the activities. Okay. Again, this was not intended to be everything and anything to develop a business planning session with you. It's more of an introduction to it. I wanted to show you some additional resources that are out there and that are free. Mike Ferry's got a pretty decent business plan for 2022. You can go to his website. Actually, let me pull it up. This is his business planning tool. Again, it is a 22-page document that is a fillable PDF that can help you determine things like your vision, your mission, your values, your transactional goals. One of the things I like about his business plan is it has a business plan, a marketing and lead generation planning for the various audiences that you have. We talked about target audiences. You may have multiple target audiences. This one has one for target audience number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. You know, so you have may have a different action plan for each one of your target audiences. Okay. The thing that we are you know, basically the end goal and the end result of all of these activities and all of the different tools that we've talked about today is to get to what your actionable and measurable daily and weekly activities are. And I would hope that amongst the activities that you would have planned would be having a weekly schedule where you're treating all of your activities as appointments and keeping every one of those appointments. I would hope that your activities should include, you know, a personal coaching session with accountability with your coach, taking advantage of all the tools that we have within the brokerage, Power Talk, Huddles, Connect Wednesdays, office synergy time. In other words, spending time in the office, if at all possible, as much as possible, because there's so much that you can gain from being here. What your marketing activities, your daily prospecting contact, your daily SOI contacts, current, past clients, schedule for your social media posts. All of these things are the activities that are going to help you to achieve your goals that you establish in your business plan. Okay, I have occupied the full 30 minutes trying to give you an introduction. I realize it was a little bit disjointed and a little bit haphazard. Hopefully, it at least has sparked you some thinking and given you some fuel for thought. And we can explore the options moving forward. Anybody have any questions? And I see in the chat, can I email the doc? Which document are you asking for? Who was this? Who? Ashish? The fillable PDF? Which one? Which one did we talk about? Any other questions? The business planning. Okay. Yes, I'm happy to do that. Let's do this. I'm going to put my email address in here if you want to email me. w@c21connect.com. Okay, if you want to email me, Ashish, I think, hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. If you want to email me to that email address, I'll be happy to share any of this with you. All right. Any other questions?
I have one. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Julie.
Are we still going to have the ribbon class?
Yep, still doing ribbon class on Wednesday.
What time? 10:30?
10:30, normal, the same time we're doing it in place of Connect Wednesday. And it'll be an hour, approximately an hour long with a ribbon rep here to talk about the program.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. All right, everybody. Well, if I don't see you before the holidays, if we don't have a coaching session scheduled, I would encourage you to do so. You know how to get to it on BrokerMint. I look forward to working with all of you in the new year, and have a great day and a great week. Merry Christmas, everybody.